Valentine's Day, Brooklyn Cafe TV. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Welcome. It's Valentine's Day. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never do you no harm. Believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. Oh, darling, if you leave me, I'll never make it alone. Believe me when I tell you, don't ever leave me alone. Hell, when you told me you didn't need me anymore, well, you know I nearly broke down and cried. When you told me you didn't need me anymore, well, you know I nearly broke down and died. Oh, darling, if you leave me, I'll never make it alone. Believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. Whoa, darling. Tell me when to start.
Honestly, I kind
Hey,
of.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Sing along, kids. When it's cold outside, you know I got the month of May. Smokey Robinson. I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, my girl, my girl, talking about my girl. I've got so much honey, the bees envy me. Got the sweetest song than the birds in the trees. Hey, Patty, what's up? I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl. talking about my girl. I don't need no money, no, no fortune or fame. Count all the riches, baby, one slightly balding man could ever claim. I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, yeah. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. Even got the month of May with my girl. Oh, oh, my girl. My girl. Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I kind of see why you enjoy sitting back here. It's not kind of nice, not, do it. You want to do it one more time? All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. He said sorry.
getting it. They're
3, 2, 1. There you go.
There we go.
Ah,
Happy Valentine's Day. We got some balloons here.
yes, we got balloons here. Happy Valentine's Day from the Brooklyn
Thank
Cafe.
you.
And you ready to
Yeah.
start things off?
Yep.
All right, let's start the show.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Happy Valentine's Day from the crew at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. I'm your host from Stress Less and Decompress with Katie, and I'm here to share some activities to do on Valentine's Day with your friends or even just by yourself. Just because you're alone doesn't mean you have to feel lonely. Consider buying yourself flowers, having a self-care night, or even inviting some friends over. Take advantage of this time to yourself and celebrate self-love.
Nothing but love songs today, kids. One out of my stable. One of the first songs I ever wrote, to tell you the truth. Wendy's song. I don't mind the rain as long as we're together. I can't feel the pain as long as we're together. You've made me a different man, taught me how to sing a different tune. My yesterdays are gone whenever we're together. I know where I belong whenever we're together. You've made a weak man strong. Show me where the answer's been all along. And if I only could, I'd fly away with you, leave it for another day. 'Cause all my life I have been waiting here for you, and I won't let you slip away. No, I don't mind As long as we're together, I can't feel the pain. As long as we're together, you've made me a different man. Taught me how to sing a different tune. I don't mind the rain. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. Don't have much money, boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I were a sculptor, then again, oh man, who made potions in the traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is a song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put town and world. How wonderful life is when you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down and world. How wonderful life is when you're in the world.
You gotta love this special day of the year, don't you? It seems like everybody's nice today.
It's all about love.
It's all about the love.
It's in the air.
You know, go back to divorce court and fighting tomorrow.
You know what? It's changed. It's about self-love. It's not just that you need a partner to love. It's about loving yourself first and all about what you can do to spread the love and
That's
feel
less
better about
lonely.
yourself.
That's less lonely.
It should not be a lonely holiday. It should be a holiday filled with love, period, with a T. With a T, according to Katie.
I get yelled at.
Right? Self-love.
Johnny Melnick on the piano, bringing in the tunes. Tell you, the man, the myth, the legend. We also played Johnny's music this morning on the morning show. How'd
That
you
was
like
a nice. I didn't realize Johnny had so many originals.
He has a few more I got. But Johnny sends me stuff on one of the platforms that I can't download the music.
Oh, yeah, there's one we can't do that.
But the one we played this morning was nice, and back-to-backs. Well, taking requests, if you write in and you want to test Johnny, see if he can
It's like
play
name
it.
that tune, see if Johnny can play that tune. How
See
about
if he can
that?
play it.
Play that tune, Johnny.
That's right, 'cause but this is always fun. And then, Johnny, as a return, you're going to play songs that we're going to ask if we know the names and who made them.
I think Karen might win that one. Karen's totally
Karen is
gonna
not
win
allowed
that
to
one.
play.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. We got to open the show with Johnny Melnick and Josh and Katie on the set, full crew in studio, and it's all about love. We have to, some of our guests aren't able to make it in today, so we hope you are feeling better. We will reschedule them. It's all about love and numbers and relationships, but definitely we're going to go over that to follow up with our morning show. And this book by Arthur Tastanello, 21 Days to Love, The Secret to Longevity, Happiness, and Success. And you don't know this, but we're going to start in the studio on day 1 today. And we're going to go through day 1. Lynn will know what it is. In 21 days, we're going to see if we can take a hobby into a habit, and that habit becomes a lifestyle about loving yourself and spreading love and rethinking and reframing how we talk to people, how we work with people, how we react to people through love and giving.
So this is an exercise for 21 days?
Yes,
What happens if I fail?
you can't fail
So then why do it?
because maybe you will better yourself. And those
And what if
around
I
you,
fail?
You can't.
What if I don't better myself?
How could you not better yourself?
So no matter what, I'm going to better myself?
If you try. I
And what
feel
if
like
I-
Glenn did the good witch. If you try, Freddie, and you click your heels
put
3
her up
times,
to this?
you too. I read the book last night, and I thought, you know what? No better way than to start on Valentine's Day. And after our morning show, when we talked to our crew and all the things that were shared, I thought, you know what? This is exactly what we're going to do. When we're going to do this later in the show and kick off with some love with our love coach, Bruce Starr. And we've got Lynn Everard joining us on the set, Johnny Melnick, and Karen's joining us, our host of
The Latin
Latin Hustle with Con Karen, the English version.
That's a Spanglish
The Spanglish.
title. Con Karen. Con Karen?
Con Karen.
Arroz con bollo?
Arroz con Karen. What else you got going on over there?
I got nothing. I'm just enjoying the deal. You said that there was something you were going to do today that I didn't know anything about. And
Yes.
then I thought when Katie and Josh were sitting up here, something was going to happen.
That was their idea, actually.
But I don't know what happened.
They sat and they introduced
That's
the
the
show.
reason is because Josh didn't bring his guitar to play. So he stayed away from the set, right? That's very smart. You're very clever.
No, they're hanging out. It's all about self-love. And Katie did a great piece on Valentine's Day. And you know, Valentine's Day has always been, if you don't have a partner, it's lonely. If you have a partner, it's great. But it shouldn't be that way. It
And
should
if
be
you have
about-
mucho
Partners?
partners, it's even greater.
Thank you. Katie's got that
What is
buzzer.
that?
I'm ready. I knew you were going to say something.
She knew you were going to say something.
Well, let me ask. Let me kick it off. Let me ask. Is it better to spend it alone or to have like 4 or 5 boyfriend, girlfriends? What is wrong with you? Why do you keep doing that? You shouldn't have 4 or 5? You can't have friends?
No, you can have friends.
That's what I'm saying, 4 or 5.
Have you seen the song, the music video, the reach you guys are getting on Only One Woman by Triple C?
That's craziness.
Thousands and thousands of views.
People
Pretty
are sharing
remarkable.
it out.
Yep.
That's a nice deal. That's a nice song.
Which is really nice. You want to kick this over to Bruce and Lynn, see what we got going on for our love relationship of the day?
We can put them on the spot. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
All right. So since Lynn introduced us to Bruce Starr, and you were on Editor's Desk, was it last week? I can't believe it was only not even a week ago. Tomorrow will be a week.
Right.
And you had always wanted to do a dating show, the dating game. We never got quite past the host because we never knew about the guests.
You gotta have the right combination for this thing to work.
So Bruce Starr is a relationship and love coach. And Lynn got to interview him. You have a few books, right? This is her teenage love coach.
Yes.
But you have
that's-
another book also.
Yes, that's the book that I put together because I saw that teenagers these days have less parental guidance than ever with all the divorces. And so I felt bad being a teacher in the school system that they have no quality direction at all. So I wrote this book in the voice of a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girl, and she sits on a park bench and she meets innocently this man who becomes her coach, her relationship mentor over her 13, 14, 15, 16-year challenges. The other book is what happens if things go wrong as a teen. I love the way Lynn put this. If things go wrong as a teen, then many people don't go after love in their adult years and instead go after the best deal. And they become not horse traders within relationships, but body traders, which is a word I made up. And it's not a good thing to become, but I bet almost 90% of the folks right now who have given up on love are body traders.
That's making a bad deal to make a deal.
But that's coming from being a teenager. So your teenage love life can actually impact your adult love life.
The absolute foundation for your adult love life, because if you get your heart broken when you're a teen, and you know there's a better chance of that happening if you get involved too early at 13, 14, 15, 16, and it happens a lot. But if someone breaks up with you and you get your heart broken, it's very hard to trust the same way sometimes ever again. And guys, guys have the toughest part of getting over a broken heart because the girls have people to talk to. They have their mothers, their sisters, their cousins, their aunts. Who do guys have to talk to if they get their hearts broken? They're not going to talk to anybody.
Well, women get chased. Very few men get chased.
Not anymore.
But not well.
It's all different.
But it's easy to overcome breakup when you're being chased. It's a whole lot more difficult to overcome breakup when you're the one chasing, because you're the one that's lost its edge.
That's right. You've
Totally
chosen
something
that person, and when you choose that person, and it doesn't happen every other day, but you find one person and you choose them, and they break your heart, it's really, really difficult to trust again.
So the bottom line here is, should you fall in love at 13, 14, 15, 16,
17, 18.
19, 20?
That's what the book is about. It's not about pushing yourself to be in a relationship prematurely. It's about finding yourself, expressing yourself without feeling like you've got to go the whole physical route, the whole falling in love route, because there's just a better chance of it not working out when you started off too young.
So then back to my friends. You date 5, 6 different people. You keep it nice and light. You don't get heavy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Chaotic.
Well, if you can handle chaos, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's a teacher by the name of Pat Allen, and out in California, she's the coach to stars, celebrities, producers, directors, casting directors. They go see her all the time to understand why they bought the bullet, they wanted to be famous, and then there was no love in their life. And she would say, don't just date one person because you're putting too many marbles into that one person. Date 2 or 3 and see who rises up. See who becomes the better match for you.
I'm
So that's
sitting here
another one.
laughing. Advice from my mother: never put all your eggs in one basket. Can you imagine a mother telling their daughter that about dating? Sorry, Mom, but yeah. It's kind of like that. Don't put all your marbles into one game ball or whatever you're doing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
My uncles used to tell me, make sure you get marbles.
So it's totally different. I don't know. Maybe our generation, it was different.
It's the same. It's the same dilemma, just
But
kind
I
of
don't
different.
think I told my kids, don't do that. I think I said, if you find that person that you love or you feel you do, that's who you should be committed to. But yet my mother told me otherwise.
I told my kids, date multiple ladies in high school, and they scream at me and say, hey, we're not like
it's
you. I says, you're not like
different.
me. I'm just trying to protect you.
They're more
against
committed
heartbreak."
now.
More committed to what? To heartbreak?
Do you think the younger generation is more committed to a relationship? Not that we're not as adults, but as teenagers.
I don't see that. I think, when you hear our love songs like we've been playing from our generation, those are deep love songs.
They used to mean something.
Feel things. You felt things. I don't see that now.
No. You
You
can't
know-
afford to. Yes, Lynn.
Freddie, I want to go back to something that you said in the beginning, and that was that we have this belief that there's a dichotomy between people who are in relationships and people who are alone. But I can tell you from personal experience that there are times when you will never feel more alone than when you're in a relationship with the wrong person. So it really comes back to being the right person for yourself, and then see what develops.
Johnny's laughing. You think that you like that one?
Johnny, didn't you write a song about that, Johnny?
He's like, oh.
I gotta tell you, without saying names or anything else, there was somebody in my life at one time that was very important to me, and no longer in my life. And then this morning I found out something horrible might be happening to her, and it hurt. And it hurt a lot, because even though I had no feelings for this person anymore, I never wish worse on anybody. So it's a tricky slope, love. That's why it only has 4 letters, because it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Relationships are like anything else, good, bad, or indifferent. They develop, they underdevelop, they overdevelop. You got to keep sort of on top of the game. And when you're that young, when you're in your 20s, man, you're indestructible. I mean, we remember, we were 21 time. We loved, we did, depending on the area that you're in, you love too much. It happens. But guiding your kids through this minefield, it's got to be the hardest thing in life, because you could lose them. You can lose them because they don't trust anything you say.
But love is a word that you can use for so many things. I love the studio. I love our crew. I love our guests. I love you. I love my children. All in different contexts, but the same word.
Yes, but the context is the problem, because trust is part of that love. And if they don't trust who's saying I love you, it don't matter how many times you say it, it's still going to sound like, it's not going to make any sense.
So Arthur talks about that word in this book. How do you address it, Bruce and Lynn? Love, that one word, like shalom, can mean so many things as one word.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why people have a tough time saying it, because they're picking up what you're saying. They don't want to cheapen the word. They don't want it to mean less than it is. So people have a tough time saying the love word, and it doesn't happen overnight. We want it to happen overnight. I kind of look at it the same way as like giving birth. Takes 9 months to give birth to a baby. I really believe for our full feelings to come up, can't be in a rush. It might take 9 months not to feel physically attracted to someone. That can happen in a minute. But to really feel strong feelings, it might take as much as giving birth or 9 months before that happens.
The L word.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on the room. Let's find out.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, how long would you say it takes for somebody to find love again after separating and divorcing?
That's really an excellent question, because if it's too soon, you have to watch out for people that are right back on the horse looking, because their heart is a little damaged. Nobody wants to admit it, guys especially. Guys, like I started saying before, women recover a lot quicker. They have more people to talk to. Guys don't have anybody to talk to. Those feelings of getting their hearts broken are stuck inside of them. So when you meet someone and they're going to tell you right off the bat, I just ended a relationship 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, and I was really in love. If they were really in love, you need to give them more time. Don't rush into a relationship that someone's just getting out of a divorce. You can tell that they're broken up. I'd find somebody else, because you don't want to be the one picking up the pieces. You don't want to be the one sweeping the pieces into, you don't want to be that person.
Did you have to
want
do that?
someone because they find you attractive, interesting, and exciting. And here's the key. If they start talking too much about an old relationship, why would they do that? And don't you start them talking about an old relationship, because you both deserve all the prime attention to each other that you can get. As soon as someone starts bringing up old loves, it's going to be a problem.
You know, I've been divorced twice, 5 years and 17 years. And I am in a relationship. And the bottom line here is that it changed me just getting married and then what I went through. But you know something, what's dynamic about life is that if you pick to do something with it, you can always change. What is it that Hearst says? You either win or you learn. And I love that saying. I want to make it a t-shirt, because what I've done is I've learned from things that didn't work out. Now, no, relationships are a two-way street. There's no one fault. There's no one fault. When you have kids, it gets even more complicated. But you got to like yourself first. Because if you lose that edge, it doesn't matter how many times you're going to try to fall in love. If you don't love you first, how are you going to love anybody else?
But Bruce, in your book, you talk about learning a lesson, right? So the coach comes and she says, you mean want to learn a lesson from this? It's kind of what Hertz said, right?
I think it's the best saying I've ever heard.
And the biggest thing for her was she went from not loving herself, not caring about herself, to realizing through this really magical communication with this person that she meets in a park, and she feeds the birds. It's nothing bad. It takes weeks. They learn to feed the birds. But when she started feeling better about herself, that's when she was able to possibly allow another person into her life. it didn't just happen easily. She had to love herself and appreciate herself first.
It's good to start, sometimes it's a do-over. Relationships don't work, you do it over. But the fun in the relationship is finding out a little bit about yourself.
Or the dysfunction, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, one man's food is another man's poison, or whatever the hell they say. Dysfunction is nothing more than learning something you didn't know.
All right, let's take a commercial break. I got to find out why they're
It's-
cracking up back
It's
there.
the fun, because Braxton ran across the camera.
Oh.
It's the fun, the word fun exists in dysfunction.
I know.
And that's what we are, fun and dysfunction.
This studio, 100%, we put the fun in dysfunction.
That's right.
Give us a call, 888-994-4995. More music, more fun, more food on this Valentine's Day. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Mellberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Valentine's Day. Love, sail is for the way you look at me. Oh, it's for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, please don't break it. Love is made for me and you. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you. Flowers and chocolate. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. It was made for me and you. Made for me and you.
I wanted to ask Johnny if you have a love story you want to share with us, a war story, a love story.
A war story, maybe.
I could start by talking about my dog Ben.
Okay.
There you go.
Love story.
Your dog
He
Ben.
passed away 25 years ago. I'm still grieving.
Aww.
Just the way it is.
So there is no
That
Mrs.
unconditional love. I'm writing a song called "Unconditional Love."
Is it
And
about
I think
Ben?
That's really what the what it's all about. It's allowing the other person to be themselves. You know, with all the the warts and the nicks and cuts and like that. A relationship, I feel, shouldn't be guarded like that. You should be able to speak freely. When you find your way.
Do you think there's such a thing as in a spousal partner relationship of unconditional love that you can speak freely in?
I do.
You do.
I am eternally optimistic.
Do you think there's such a thing?
Just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it can't happen. It's communication. It's communication. Talk. Find it.
What was the question?
Can there be unconditional love where you can say anything you want at any time?
To who?
Your partner, not your kids, not your dog, not your parents, your significant other.
Are you asking, saying it? Is
I'm
you're free to
asking.
saying it, or
Yeah.
how it's going to be received? Because those are two
Does it
different
exist?
questions. No. You want it to exist, but if you say something like to your significant other, "You stink" in public, like there's a roomie, and I go, "You smell," it's the truth. But
Yeah,
that
you
truth
might
ain't
not-
going to set you free.
You may not
Yeah.
want to say that.
No, I mean, it depends. You want to deliver things intelligently, right? And then you have to be responsible for whatever you say. And that's the problem with relationships, especially nowadays. That's the problem that I see anyway. See, when you get older, you get to be on that fence and look.
Yeah, you
and see
told me
all
I'm
these
going to get splinters. You gave me advice to sit on the fence. Then
I
you
told
told me,
you
and then
2
you
years
said
ago-
to me today, now you're going to get a lot of splinters sitting on that fence. Thank you for the advice.
I told you. Oh, I'm just trying to warn you. Listen, I'm Latino. I know. All I can tell you is, I know.
I have a question actually for Bruce. Has the internet spoiled a lot of the dating world because of all these internet applications, scam love, and all kinds of things that you see?
You know, I would never say that the internet is a bad thing. I'd never say that the internet dating is a bad thing. But what it has created is way too many choices. Fred Flintstone and Barney, they only had a few choices to choose from.
They had Betty and Wilma. That was
Betty
it.
and Wilma.
Go either way, right?
And they made the absolute best of it because there were not 100 other people waiting in backstage for them. And it's not that the internet is bad, but when someone has too many choices, if someone has a little wrinkle in their face over here and they don't like it, they move on, or something minor, and that, I believe, has really made it really hard for dating on the internet. There's just too many choices, and of course, I don't have to tell you that. Look, I know people meet each other, lots of people meet each other, but there's not enough honesty on the internet, and sometimes when people have given up on meeting someone in person, they turn to the internet. I'm not so sure about how good that is either.
Well, remember that the Flintstones are a cartoon. That's one of the reasons
They
why.
are?
Yeah, because that's why it doesn't exist. And the other, and that's it doesn't exist. And the other thing is, having choice sometimes can work for you. It can work against you. It can work somewhere in between. It's good and bad because every day somebody changes. You ever wake up feeling the same about somebody every day? Because if you're good, let me know.
But that's the other thing I wanted to ask Bruce is that how do you find someone who accepts you for you? Because nowadays you see so much competition, jealousy, like lies, manipulation, bad habits, things that people bring into a relationship, and it just they try to change the other person instead of saying, I accept you with your past, I accept you for who you are, and I love you for everything you do now, not back then or before.
Karen, I can say, and when I was younger, I was not a take it easy, go slow. I wasn't. But now I've aged a little bit, and I know better. The key is to not be in a rush. The longer you take to get to know someone and they get to know you, the more you learn about them. See, here's a funny thing about having sex too soon or sex too early, is that once that happens, the preoccupation about the sex kinds of takes over instead of the preoccupation of getting to know someone better. So the idea is to take your time, because people will expose themselves, good or bad. When I say expose, the problems will get exposed, their addictions will get exposed eventually. But if you fall in love too easily, you become physically addicted to them too easily, then it's hard to break that when you're with someone, because you're physically addicted, you're sexually addicted. Take your time. Don't be in a rush is the best advice I can give anybody.
Let me ask you. You just did speed dating. I'm assuming the demographic was a little bit older than
Yes.
our crew.
Yes.
Do they look for something different? Are your speed dating couples at an older age, say our demographic, looking for something different than in their 20s?
I can't answer at all what they're looking for, but what I can say about speed dating that makes speed dating so spectacular is over an hour and a half period of time, you spend 2 or 3 minutes with each person, and there's either a little bit of a spark, a click, or there's nothing, and then you move on. Most people walked out of speed dating with 1 or 2 or 3 telephone numbers that they can then explore in the next coming weeks or months. Where do you get to meet 2 or 3 people that you're sort of interested in? You can't find anybody over a year's period of time.
In person,
most
right?
of
Not on the
time.
other side of a swipe right or swipe left.
This way you're right in
Yeah.
front of them. It's
Interesting.
not a swipe. There's energy. The person's right in front of you. It's just speed dating is a fantastic way to possibly meet quality people that you could get along with.
Well, you're married, so I can't ask you. I gotta ask Lynn, sorry. For you to get into another relationship, are you looking for something different now than you looked for with your wife?
Absolutely. Yeah, because now what primarily interests me is someone who's committed to their own growth, their own spiritual growth. And that's the number one thing for me. And if they're not, because that's what I'm committed to. So if that's not a match right there, then I don't even have to go any further at that point. But I did want to bring up something else, and that's about parents. Because many of us, whether we know it or not, we're out there trying to find someone that we can earn their love to become worthy of the love we think our parents didn't give us. And so one of the ways that we can resolve that is by understanding that our parents did love us. They did the best they could. Their love may not have been exactly what we wanted it to be, but it was the best they could do at the time. But I feel like that a lot of people, you've heard the expression, well, you married your mother or you married your father, right? And I think some of that is that we're still trying to earn our own worthiness for them, because we think that somehow they'll finally love us, or if they're not around, then that other person who we then put in the role of our parent, that we're trying to get them to love us so we can earn their love and feel like our parents loved us. The truth is, no child ever wants to believe that their parents didn't love them. But we all make up the stories. And, we all have these stories out of our past, out of our childhood. Oh my gosh, my parents couldn't possibly have loved me. No, they couldn't have given you Disney love. Nobody can give you Disney love. Disney love doesn't exist. It's a fantasy. And so I just think it's so important that if we don't resolve the places where we didn't feel love, we're going to go looking for that in a partner. And then that partner is going to be the first of many partners who will disappoint us, because we will not have been able to earn the love we think we needed to earn to prove ourselves worthy enough for either our mother or our father's love. So Bruce, what do you think about that?
Parents play such an important role in our lives. They try their best to be there for us. But in my books, both of the books that I've written, parents mean well, but I got to tell you, one of the most destructive things that parents have done, and almost everybody will be able to relate to this. If you did fall in love as a teen, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, and before you go to college, if you're the man, the boy, your parents will say to you, don't fall in love with this young girl. When you go to college and you become an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor, and you graduate and you get a great job, you can make all the money you want and you can get anybody you want. Well, that's some of the worst advice. Because as you get older and you're in your 20s and you're making all the money you want, you all of a sudden run into people who may only want to be with you for the money that you have. And it's the same thing with a girl, teenage girl. Don't give your heart away to him. This is your first love we're talking about.
Did you have that? Did your parents say any of that to you?
No, my parents asked me if I was willing to pay the price it was going to take to get that trust from her. My father said to me, you can marry her, do whatever you want, but are you going to pay, are you going to be committed and and do what you got to do to make it work? And I never understood what the hell he was talking about until the end of the ride, because sometimes you get into a relationship for different reasons. And your parents are trying to tell you, I'm not telling you no, because whenever you tell a kid no, they do yes. Don't go that way, they go that way. And he understood that. So what he said to me, it's going to be a long haul. Are you willing to pay that sacrifice? Are you willing to do it? Very close to what he's saying. But you got to listen to the words. Sometimes parents are cloudy in giving you the message because they don't want to tell you what to do. They want you to tell them what you want to do. I get it.
And what I ran into too many times, because I wasn't a lawyer or a doctor or an Indian chief, I ran into parents that were too protective of their daughters.
Yes.
And they would say, listen, there's plenty of guys like him down the road. We want you to marry a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant. And that also means that don't be involved for love. Just, marry for prestige or marry for security. And it sounds good on paper, but it just doesn't work out that way.
True.
I got married on the day I was supposed to go to law school. And I picked that marriage, went to the wedding, and I postponed law school for 3 years, and I never went back. And my father let me remind me of that every day for the next 3 years. And this is why he said, if you're going to get married, that's fine. We'll all be there. And they helped me pay for the wedding, the whole night. And at the end, he says, I hope you're going to pay the price and you're going to go back to law school. And I went. I went up to, wherever the hell I went, it was freezing. That was one of the problems. So sometimes you're going to have to sort of be honest with yourself. Your parents just want the best for you. Even if you don't get along with your parents for whatever reason, or they don't get along. And I ain't never met a parent who wants the worst for you. They want the best for you. But sometimes they deliver that message with a hammer and not a feather. And if you don't get the message they're trying to tell you, life becomes complicated making a bad deal in life with a spouse or somebody else to make a deal.
See, so Katie's right. You got to love yourself first. And right, what Lynn said, if you love yourself and you accept you for you and you grow to be who you want to be, then your partner should enhance that. And if the partner doesn't enhance it, then you're good with yourself.
That's right. It's like that old saying.
Don't make a bad deal to make a deal.
Marry the ugly woman, because if she leaves, nobody cares.
That's horrible.
But this is what I
But she
grew
might
up
be
with.
beautiful on the inside.
Well, no, I'm saying ugly on the inside and the outside.
Well, they made a whole song about that, right?
Didn't they? Yes.
You know that song, Johnny?
Which song is that?
I have no idea.
If you want to be happy for the rest of your life. Never mind.
On that note, let's take a commercial break.
And the other thing is, Ben.
That was an old Abbott and Costello joke.
Yes, yes, it was. And they have Ben the song also.
Never marry a pretty woman, because she might leave you. Yeah, but an ugly woman might leave you too. Yeah, but who cares?
That's what my uncle told me that. I guess he watched Abbott and Costello.
All right, you want to take us out with the song, Johnny?
Only kidding. Don't take it serious.
Love Johnny, take us out with the song. Oh my gosh, they're hilarious. See, we're jaded at our age. I want to hear from the youngins. Katie
let's get
and
the
Josh
youngest. Let's
and
get the
Zaria.
youngest involved. Yes, absolutely.
Let's
get the youngest.
Let's have love back in the spotlight. Not I don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
All right, Johnny's going to take us out. We'll be right back.
Got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you really are part of me. I've got you under my skin. I would sacrifice anything, come what may, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Now don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. And I've got you under my skin. I've got you under my skin.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life. Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Sitting on a park bench one day, you came down and sat next to me. You had my heart fluttering, baby, like a pair of butterfly wings. I seemed to talk for hours about everything we knew. And when you went away, baby, Lord, right then I knew that there's only one woman for me. You showed me things I'd never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. There's only one woman for me. It's been 2 years, baby. Oh, you're standing there. I see the love in your eyes, wind blowing through your hair. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, the love we shared. And I knew in my heart, baby, none would ever compare. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I've never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. We talk for hours, made love on the beach. You are my dream, my only fantasy. Then one summer day, my darling, you went away. You flew up to heaven, you see, got your own pair of wings. Though it broke my heart, I remember everything you taught. There would never be another woman that could mend his heart. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I've never seen. Whoa, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I've never seen. Whoa, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. 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 Here we go.
Anybody that wants to, okay, what is this?
Candle in the Wind, really? Is that from you? No. Elton John. Yeah, well, he wrote some beautiful songs, no? Goodbye, Norma Jean, though I never knew you at all. You had the grace to hold yourself where those around you crawled. Crawled out of the woodwork, and they whispered into your brain. They set you on a treadmill and made you change your name. Everybody sing. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. But I would like to know you, but I was just a kid. The candle burned out long before biggest role you ever played. Hollywood created a superstar. Fame was the price you paid. Even when you're tired, all the press still hounded you. All the papers had to say Marilyn was found in the nude. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. But I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. The candle burned down long before the legend ever did. But I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. The candle burned down long before the legend ever did. Oh boy. Hope I know it. Nah, nice song. I used to play it. I haven't played it in years. I'm sorry. Beautiful song. Sorry. That's the thing that happens. Tune in next week. I'll have it for you. What about Take It on the Run? Oh, that's from REO. No, I don't have that one. I do have Stevie Wonder. I can't fight this feeling any longer, and I'm still afraid to let it show. What started out as friendship has grown stronger. Only wish I had the strength to let it flow. I tell myself that I can't hold out forever. Say there is no reason for my fear. I feel so secure when we're together. You give my life direction. You make everything so clear. Hit it. And even as I wander, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in a window. Candles again. Candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. I'm getting closer than I ever thought I might. And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. It's time to turn this ship into the shore and throw away the oars forever. And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. And if I have to crawl across the floor, come crashing through the door, maybe I can't fight this feeling anymore. Close to go.
Katie, this is for you. Today, commit to spending the next 21 days being in love with yourself, and sharing your passion for expressing love with others in each of the 21 ways. So this way, the first way, they say, the way to get meaning in your life is to devote yourself to loving others, devote yourself to your community around you, and devote yourself to something that gives you purpose and meaning. And that is by Mitch Albom. So the exercise is, Freddie, this is one of yours. One of the most difficult, emotional, and revealing things Arthur has ever done is to look into the mirror and peer into my eyes, into the wall of my humanity. I don't mean just seeing the physical me and checking out what I look like or what I believe others see. No, this is peering deep into your own eyes and seeing through the clutter and deep into my soul. The eyes are the windows to the soul. So the exercise is to stare into your eyes and see what you see and fall in love with yourself as a gift. Remember that mirror, Freddie?
That's why the mirror is in Studio A.
So the exercise is to fall in love with yourself and see what you see, and don't judge.
And don't judge.
And don't judge. So that is the message of day one. Lynn?
So I've used something very similar to that with clients, and it is about self-love. But I have clients I've worked with where I have encouraged them to go and look in the mirror and look into their own eyes and keep looking until they so fall in love with themselves that they start crying uncontrollably.
I was going to say, I think the first time you actually do that, someone once had me do that, and I think all it did was make me cry.
Yeah, but that's when you made that connection to yourself and you actually understood that you are worthy of love. You're worthy of the most important love you can ever find, which is your own. And so that's what's so important about that, is because once you have your own love, once you love yourself, you will never need to search for love outside yourself. And then that's when you become one half of a relationship between two whole people. You're not half a person, you're half a relationship. But you're whole, and you find someone who's whole, and now you're not fighting over love because you already both have it. So now you're saying, what could we do if we brought love together and created something exponential out of it? But it has to start with each one of us. It doesn't mean we're going to love ourselves completely, because there's not a human alive who doesn't have one aspect of themselves that they don't like or that they don't love. That's just part of being human. So we all got it. Some it's more visible than others, but we've all got it. And so that's not the question. The question is, can you love yourself enough to accept all of yourself?
That's interesting.
You don't necessarily have to love all of yourself, but you do have to accept all of yourself. And then you learn to bring those other pieces of yourself into love once you've crossed over into acceptance.
You've been through a lot, and you share a lot here. Do you love yourself enough to love?
I was actually just talking to Lynn about that. Like, I'm 36 now, and and I feel like right now is where I started accepting myself. I started loving myself more. I see how far I've come, and just in the past 3 years, my son's 5-year anniversary is next month. So it's like I've seen this amount of strength that I've built up in me, and it was nobody telling me, you're strong, you can do this. It was me who had to self-motivate myself to say, you can get through this. You know, your only way back up when you hit rock bottom is back up. So after grieving and going through all the emotions, I found myself. I feel like I am spiritually growing into a better version of me. And like even today, I get to spend time with my daughter, and I've been praying for this, so I feel her, like she's excited to see me, and I feel like we get closer now and get to build our bond back up, and things are just starting to look so much better now. So it is true, the sun does always come out after the storm.
Josh, you love yourself?
To an extent.
Isn't it funny, if we only loved ourselves as much as we proclaim to love someone else. In other words, you'll do anything for this somebody else. You will walk to the end of the earth. You will do whatever needs to be done. Why can't we turn that kind of emotion on someone else, on ourselves?
Agreed.
I mean, why can't we do that? Because if you do that, then I believe that you can love somebody endlessly. I just read that.
And sometimes the reason that we do it that way is because we still haven't valued ourselves enough to be able to actually take that love we have for another person and apply it to ourselves.
So they're filling a void.
Yes.
So you're looking to fill a void from external to internal instead of taking your own and filling it yourself. Does that work for people? Is that truth, or is that like a bandage, a pit that doesn't really
it
exist?
eventually becomes a bandage because the people that do that, and you notice people that go from relationship to relationship with barely a pause in between, it's like they're looking for, they want to outsource the job of loving themselves, right? But you can't, it's one job you can't outsource because nobody can love you the way you can love you. And if you don't love you, you will always be disappointed by the love others have for you because you'll have expectations. Some you'll share and some you won't share, but you'll still assume that if they loved you, well, they would just know. They would just know everything that you need, and it's back to Disney again. But that's not how life works because...
That's interesting.
You know, a lot of times we end up attracting people who have the same void we have. And we fight over it. There's a book called The Celestine Prophecy from many years ago, James Redfield. And he talks about these control dramas. And control dramas are when two people get together, they're half of a whole, and now they find themselves that they've created a whole together, and they both like having the whole piece in one, and now they start fighting over it. Well, I want the whole part. No, I want the whole part. And then that's when the relationship breaks down into these specific control dramas and then eventually destroys itself because the two people didn't make themselves whole first. They were just fighting over the entirety, the whole that they created together.
Katie, do you have a mic?
Two voids do not make a one.
Because you talk every week about self-care and self-love on your show.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you to love yourself?
I mean, I think it's really important. I think lots of people, I wouldn't say they forget about it, but kind of don't put it first, and it is a priority, and it's not really talked about enough. But I think that self-care is very important, especially for everyone that is, busy every day. Even if it's just like doing homework, you still need to do, have a self-care day or do something for yourself. Because I feel like when we get busy doing, work or whatever, we kind of forget to take care of ourselves, whether that mean like eat or make sure that we, take a nap, something. It's important to make sure that you have, that you take care of yourself. And
Can you tell when others around you don't have that loving feeling they should have towards themselves?
Yeah.
Because I noticed that she will try to make you laugh or she'll do something funky. And do you do that because you sense that maybe they need a little pick-me-up or you're sensing that there's something missing?
I guess a little bit of both, just, as I say, trying to bring some positivity in. That's just, I guess, my way.
What impresses me about Katie is it becomes cliche. You got to love yourself, right? Love yourself, self-care. But she truly believes this in her heart. And you told me that day on her show, and you saw this morning's show, that everything that you stand for and how your show has evolved really is deep within your heart, and you truly walk this walk.
Mm-hmm.
And there are not many people our age that do this, certainly not your age, as you help other people, which I find really impressive. And to her credit.
There's a bunch of stuff that I learned doing her show. That blew me away, and this morning's show blew me away because there's a lot more underneath the surface with these guys than you know. I've always said to parents, don't ever believe that you know your kid. Because I'm going to tell you something, you don't. I don't care how great of a parent you are, you just don't. And we talked about this because you don't. And sometimes I learned a lesson today because I heard some things today. It made me sit back. So I learned a lesson today. And sometimes emotions are so, there's so much out there that's going on right now for these kids. It's just tough, man, because you like to be able to take them and put them in your pocket and wish no harm happens to them, but that ain't life.
Katie, what's your best self-care tip?
Tip?
Tip. Or a few.
You mean like options for things to do on
Things to do
self-care?
to love yourself, to show, yeah.
There's a lot of things, which you should tune in to Stress Less, Decompress with Katie if you want to find out more. But
good for you.
Some of them, I talk a lot about journaling. Journaling is so important. I need to really get into it, but it really is important, especially if you don't have many people to talk to about what's going on in your life and you need to vent. It's kind of another way to vent, writing down what's going on, what's hurting you. It just helps get it out onto something else. Even if it's not to venting or talking to another person, at least you're writing it down, getting it out of your brain and getting it on paper. It's just another way to do that. But also face masks and take a bubble bath, take care of yourself.
What about for guys? Unless you want to do a face mask and a bubble bath.
I have a face mask in my house.
He has a face mask.
And bubble bath.
I also like lighting candles. I think it's very relaxing. But also just, it doesn't have to be anything special. It can be literally just watching Netflix in bed. It's maybe you haven't been watching, you haven't seen something in a while, on Netflix, and you've been wanting to watch it. So putting aside at least 30 minutes or an hour at least for yourself to just spend, doing what you want to do and what you like doing.
Do you put your phone down during that time?
Unfortunately, I don't.
You don't, right?
I should, but I don't know. It's next to me 24/7. But
I know.
Yeah.
For all of us, that's why I asked if that, because I think that would help a lot of people if we actually, when we took that 30 minutes to an hour, we actually put our phone in another room.
And it's hard. It's
I
hard
don't
because
do
I
it,
feel like.
But we should.
It's difficult because I feel like if I put my phone in another room, I'm gonna miss an important call or something important. But it doesn't end up being the case. But I feel like everyone has that little bit of fear that's about putting their phone down. What's gonna happen? Are they gonna miss something important or,
Well, I want to ask, in a relationship, you should give up something so the other person gets what they want. And you shouldn't look at it that way.
You should give up something?
You should do something. Yeah, you're going to have to give up something you don't like to do. Or something that she likes to do more than you do. And you should give it up so that you get it done.
Or you compromise and then you
but the problem is human beings, you know what? Human beings don't compromise.
Is it like the guy taking dance lessons?
Now you know why he's divorced.
Human beings don't compromise. There's always one way or that way.
No.
So when you compromise, then they say, well, that was nice, but it really wasn't what I wanted. Well, that was nice. Can we do it this way? And they begin to change the compromise. Compromise is agreeing on a spot, right? And I already know that I'm going to give in a little bit more on that spot because the compromise just don't work. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound negative. I just been down these walls and down these wars. So you compromise. Sometimes a woman is the most clever person in the world. They will put you in a position to a guy that you will get what you want. They get what they want, and then they get a little bit more because there ain't nothing sweeter than a sweet deal. So you compromise, it ain't enough.
Really?
Oh, yes, really.
So, Freddie, you would take dancing lessons with your partner, and she would watch sports so that you both
and I have,
compromise?
Not dancing lessons, but I don't watch sports anymore. Now I have it on my phone, so I watch it in reruns, or I watch it. I don't do that anymore because I gave up. I used to be a sports fanatic. I used to watch every game, 162 Met games, Jet games, Knick games, Ranger games. I used to watch it, and I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it because I began to isolate myself from people. And I'd rather go to a dinner or see a movie or do something to compromise. Except I end up going to
Not
see
doing what you
chick
don't want to
flicks.
do.
Chick flicks.
Yeah.
So Magic Mike?
Thank you. You know, this is two you give me in this one segment. I'm going to be forced to go see. I would see it. Not that I would like it, but I'll go see it. Doesn't bother
She's
me.
hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, Magic Mike you will go see in the movies, right?
Yeah.
They have it on Broadway.
Magic
Really?
Mike on Broadway?
I think it's somewhere
No
down.
way.
It's somewhere down here. They have like a live concert of it. Yeah, I think it's at the Kravis Center, maybe.
I heard it was in Miami.
Maybe.
It's
Or
amazing
there's
how just the
something in
women are talking, you know? There's a Magic Mike.
Magic Mike, I gotta tell you.
I guess
Except
I'm a
for
woman now.
Josh. You ever went to Chippendales in the day?
No.
Guys
But I've
know
seen
about
them.
Chippendales, a club in New York?
Sure. You know too?
Yes.
How do you know? Yeah, it was before we were
They're
the
two.
boy.
They're two cute little chipmunks.
Two chipmunks, yeah.
No.
Chip and Dale from
No,
Disney.
Chippendales
No.
were guys, muscle guys like Mike, and they had two cufflings, a bow tie,
It's
like
and they were
Playboy
muscle
for
bound.
Ah.
They were dancers.
Like a strip club for women.
Ah.
I gave up dancing at those a while back.
Do you like to dance?
I used to in the 70s when it was really a lot of fun
We used to do ballroom
with
dancing.
disco and
Disco, the
and it was a
hustle.
whole dating thing, you know, the dancing.
I know. That was back in the day. That's how we used to pick up digits, right? We used to go dancing and we had 4 or 5 digits, phone numbers to call.
Well, now they say dating's really expensive. Yes. So,
It is expensive.
for those that are dating,
Learn
what's
to
it?
cook.
What's an inexpensive date?
A walk in the
McDonald's.
park.
Oh, okay, walk in the park,
Walk in the park. What are you going to do at the end
Kayaking.
of that journey?
go get ice cream or something.
Ice cream?
Chick-fil-A.
Going to the
Chick-fil-A.
beach.
Okay.
Is it okay to
Beach?
take a girl
Oh.
on a first date to Chick-fil-A?
Checkers. Checkers is so cheap, and it's really good.
What's a
it's
good
greasy.
inexpensive date that you would accept as a girl?
A cheap. Wait, a what?
A library date.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Katie, would that be acceptable to you as a first date? No.
No.
What?
No, no, no.
See?
Sorry, would that
Like,
be a good date
I mean,
for
I
you?
would go, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't
A
really enjoy
library?
it. I'm being honest.
I don't even have a library card.
How about a weekend street fair? You know, there's street fairs
Yeah.
everywhere.
That's nice.
Oh, like the Notebook.
Like the art fairs are free to walk
I
into.
love the Notebook, but what do you?
The fair that they had in the Notebook where they first met
Flea market.
on the Ferris
Inexpensive.
wheel.
Oh, come to the house and cook at the crib.
Yeah.
Come to the house and cook.
That's right. Learn how to cook. I just said that. You go to the crib and you have to learn how to be a maestro. Or you go to Presidente where everything's 1/3.
Oh.
You take it, bring it home, throw away the cartons, and say, "Look what I just made for you."
There's a cool little flea market.
Flea market.
Yeah, flea market.
In Pompano?
Flea
No,
market.
it's in Lake Worth, in the Lake Worth drive-in area. They do a flea market every Sunday morning, I think.
But I think cultural art fair has a better sound to it
Than flea market?
Than flea market for a date.
Let's go to
Just
the
saying.
It's like what do you call Target?
Target.
Target.
It's all
Love
Let's go to
Target.
Target.
Would that be
Can
a
we
good date?
please? That would be the best.
That's the best date for Katie.
The best date. The
Okay, yes,
best.
it's if you buy everything, but also the best part about Target is just going in there and like looking at everything that they have, like all the new things that's just come out,
And
you're
not
like,
buying
wow.
nothing?
Ah.
Like you want it and you're having the moment, but then you decide, okay, I don't need it.
Going
so
vinyl
moving
shopping.
The best
Oh, that's
date.
cool.
Costco. You get food. You get drink. All the samples you can want. You're gonna get a little exercise. You're gonna walk around the store.
I'm only there. I'm only there every other day, so I can't relate to that
That's
at all.
not a good date. Johnny, what's a good
The
date?
only suggestion is anybody thinking about the second date?
All right, what's
There
a good
is no second
Like
date.
after all these suggestions, it's over.
If you take her to
There's not gonna be a
Costco,
second
there won't be
date.
a second
Costco
date.
and-
Costco is the best date. You can find out a person's sense of humor, right? So you're gonna date somebody. I gotta date somebody who's funny.
Total Wines, sample it.
Total
Too
wine
expensive.
sampling.
Sampling.
Samples.
Sampling.
Yeah, but they got 1 or 2. I'm talking about Costco. They have like 12 or 14, right? Yeah, and then you can bring a little
Your
wine.
son said Costco does not constitute a good first date.
What does he know? He's married too.
He's married with 1.5. I
Yeah,
know.
so he don't need no more. But when you go to Costco, right? If you're a woman, if the woman or a guy, if you say I'm gonna take you to Costco for the first date, and look at the reaction. Look at the reaction. If they say, what?
No kidding.
That ain't for you.
This doesn't work.
It's that, but it's not for you because you're asking something in fun.
Johnny, what's the best first date?
My first date? Oh, Lord. I don't know. I haven't been on a date in a long time.
What's your famous last date then?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like to go out to dinner and relax.
Yeah, you're a jazz club
slows
guy.
me down. I think we live in such a fast society. All these suggestions are really anything that slows you down and makes relax a little bit. Gee, everybody's on edge. Everybody's on pushing 7.
Can
out
I
of 10,
ask Bruce, what
what
happened to the love in the antique days where...
The antique days?
Yeah.
Antique days?
In the,
You mean when they were dinosaurs?
Amor a la Antigua by Pedro Fernandez.
Holy
there's
Now
a
that I know
song.
Now she's talking in Spanish. She's talking tongue.
We're old enough to be her parents.
I know.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Now I feel really old.
I feel like, what happened in the day?
Now I really have to take you under my wing.
No, but you know the song by Pedro Fernandez,
I
like
don't know
Amar a
Pedro
la
Fernandez.
Antigua, is loving in the antique way where they
Old-fashioned
used
way.
to write love letters to
Yeah.
each
And
other.
they put it in a
love
bottle
poems
and threw
to
it in
each
the
other.
ocean? Yeah, I
the
remember
guy
that.
used to open the door,
Like the
there was,
Notebook.
like it was just a sweet, really romantic
No, there's no
love
more of that. Because
life.
the woman wants to be equal.
Is that only in the movies or
Yes.
does that really exist?
It's a Nightmare on Elm Street.
When I
gotta
first
tell
met my
you
wife, we do that.
that when I was
wife?
growing up,
When I first met my wife, we were writing to each other. We leave letters. We leave letters and thoughts. And I thought it not only opened her up, it opened me up to say things and share. It was great.
When
Johnny,
I first
but
met my
it was
husband,
one
he
of the
said no
favorite
letters
things.
as evidence.
However, after we got married, all that stopped.
Johnny, but you have an advantage. Because you can wake up and say, dude, and start playing the piano or whatever, and every woman's going to love you.
my gosh, right?
I want to
Nothing like
kiss
dating a
you.
musician.
Yeah, I mean, you have an advantage. Guys like me used to hate guys like you.
You
I'm
could
okay.
You
compose
made
songs.
dating easy. Huh?
Well,
He could
I don't-
compose songs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, well, I'm sure you used that in the day.
Karen
How many-
Super Report, she said that this is just in the movies. We're surrounded
Yeah.
by the TV shows. They're illusionary. They're written by people. It's not real life. Movies, illusionary. The Notebook.
Hallmark
probably
Channel.
set, I love The Notebook, but probably set our culture back a couple of decades, thinking that you can meet someone with such an intense love. And listen, it's possible. I went out to Los Angeles in the 80s looking, is anybody,
What were you looking for?
don't tell this to anybody. But I went out looking to get together with an actress and marry and live happily ever after. I believed what I saw on television, and what a not going to
Didn't
say
work out so well.
not going to say a rude awakening, but when you get to know the realities of what life is like in the entertainment industry.
Was there somebody waiting for you, or you just created this? Let me go and meet her.
No, there wasn't anybody waiting.
Oh, so you created this?
Yeah, I left Boston and I moved myself out to Los Angeles, and I got situated in show business. I was an agent for stand-up comedians. I represented 35 of them, as a matter of fact. And I was a manager. And I thought, remember we talked about you get older, you get the right job, you'll be guaranteed anybody that you want. I had to learn the hard way that when I got out to Los Angeles, it wasn't good enough to be good looking or have a good personality or to make enough money. If you weren't out in Los Angeles and Hollywood, if you weren't a producer, if you weren't a casting director, if you weren't a director, if you weren't a cocaine dealer, you were probably not enough for most ladies out there. And I had a really tough time because I was none of those.
Well, California's a different animal. It's like New York. It's a different animal.
Do you feel like we're jaded as we're older compared to
all.
Katie and Josh
Why?
and Zaria?
Not at all.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking of the fairy tale like Lynn, life is Disney. You marry, you have children, you live this enchanted, magical life, and it's not Disney.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it can't be enchanted and
It
exciting
doesn't
life.
mean that life doesn't have issues and
Everything
things,
has
right?
issues. You ever buy you buy new shoes and you're tying up and you break a shoelace?
Even
What, you throw the shoe
Cinderella's
out?
shoe fit her. That was her biggest issue.
I
But
think
it's
that
different.
we stress those things that we can't control. Like you break a shoelace, you don't throw the shoes out. You buy another shoelace. You go from there. You know, we just stress out thinking everything has to be perfect. What fun is that?
But their generation's different. Even Disney generation is different for you guys. They've got different characters. Not everyone's a princess. You've realized that women don't want to be the princess. Women want to be empowered. Even Disney has changed how they share.
Yes,
life.
it has.
I wanna go back to what Lynn was saying, when she was asking, open the door. Antigua, I'm gonna tell you something. I said, honey, you gonna open my door. You gonna pay my tab. You gonna take care of me.
I watched Steve open Sally's door yesterday when they left the studio, which was really nice. He
Yeah,
opened
but
her
how
door
come
and then-
women can't open a man's door?
Well, they can. Then aren't they supposed to then lean over and unlock the door? Although the door's unlocked
That's a movie.
automatically now.
There's a movie, right? You lean over, and that's how you can tell if she likes you, she'll lean over and open your door.
We have a
But
call?
why doesn't a woman open my door? Why doesn't a woman pay my tab?
Buy yourself flowers.
It brings me back to Fred Flintstone and Wilma.
And that's a cartoon. I want real life.
But back then,
Yeah.
the man he had to go out and beat up the Tyrannosauruses, and he had to go work in that rock quarry and bring back the money so that she can
Cook it. The
grow the
Brontosaurus.
family, not just cook the dinner, which was, of course, great, took care of the kids and the pets. But what happened back then is you had a family unit. So the problem is that when the sexes switch what they do, it breaks up the family unit. And
Do you believe that?
absolutely, 100%.
Thank you. Because I was going to say like, nowadays the families are so backwards looking. Like, there's gays and lesbians who are adopting children, and then you have children growing up in a gay and lesbian home, and they don't know what sexuality they are, or what you hear, in what they're teaching kids in schools right now with unicorns and not identifying yourself as male or female. Like, yeah, there's this
Unicorn
whole,
children.
like,
They're called unicorn children?
Yeah, because unicorns
yeah.
are not either
So,
sex.
Bruce, one thing about Fred and Wilma and the Flintstones, think of how long it would have taken you to write your book.
On those, like one rock at a time.
Yeah.
I understand that. It would have been
know,
bad.
I-
Listen,
you know,
but
it's-
there's good and there's bad. But the one thing is that the family the family unit is extremely important. And the way to break us all up is to break up the family unit. Things have been one way for 5,000 or 6,000 years. In the last 50, things have changed. Is it better or not better? I say things worked for 5,000 years, and now I don't see things working so well.
I think it's just different because the economy now, whoever the parents are, both parents have to work. So the kids don't have, it doesn't matter whether you're gay, lesbian, green, purple, or white. You got two working parents, you've got kids that are going to school, you got shootings in school. There's no security. Kids come home by themselves or they're in after school being raised by school staff. So I don't think it's the family unit, it's so much more to that. It's hard to have one parent work and one parent stay home. Whatever sex you are or gender binary, whatever it is, it's hard to do it as one. Or you've got a lot of single parent households that are working full time and the kids have the key, and then like you go home from work and you've got school and work and you're mowing the lawn, the good son, you take your mom to the grocery store. It's a lot on everyone's plate.
And it's
And that's
tough.
what
And
changes.
it's tough also because, my mom tried to work and she got an asthma attack and she ended up in the hospital. So my father told her, you don't have to work anymore. But if she wanted to work, he would have said, come on, work, and we'll roll up our sleeves together. I mean, my father came to this country with $1.25 in his pocket, and he built everything that he had, and he had plenty. But the bottom line is that if my sister was standing here, she said, let me tell you something. I want my career. I want to do what I want to do. I had 2 kids. They went both to college. They both have their degrees and everything else. And he changed. I mean, she'll give you the complete opposite of what you just said. And so you met my sister. And my sister believes in tradition begins at home because everything changes with what's going on right now. My sister was tough on me. I went to NYU because of her. She said, go finish your degree. And when she found out I didn't go to law school, my sister was coming after me, saying, what are you, nuts? Ain't nobody on the planet going to take care of you. You got to take care of yourself. But you're right. Tradition, Antigua, does work. The problem is it doesn't fit the mold in today's society. It doesn't fit because, well, it isn't that it's broken. It's just stretch. It's different.
But
he has a different outlook. She has a different outlook. We're surrounded by these kids every day. And if you understood some of the complexities that come into this house,
That's why there's such high anxiety.
they're running rapid. And before you can fix anything to get it back to the way it used to be, we got to control emotions. And that ain't happening right now.
You know what else I was going to say is kids are a lot smarter nowadays because working parents, in order to keep their children shut, they give them the electronics so that you have a 1-year-old who can function a tablet and go into different apps and stuff. And it's like, it's amazing because 50 years ago, we had no technology, so we were throwing rocks on the street, playing hopscotch, jump rope, you know, the games that kids learned of growing as hide and seek, you know, tag and all this stuff. Now you have, it's Minecraft, Roblox, you know, and there's different apps and stuff that children are so introduced at a young age that
That
the innocence
6-year-old,
is gone.
they gave him a phone, and he ordered $500 worth of food from DoorDash. $500. And the parents said, all this pizza, what did you do? Well, it says order here, so I ordered, right? So the father had to pay the $500. When DoorDash found out what the kid did, they gave him $1,000 worth of cards to use, and they made a TV commercial for him.
What you gonna do?
I mean, this kid's bright and smarter than the average bear. Even the father says, I'm going to start listening to what he wants to do.
Let's take a commercial break. Let's have some more music, some more love tunes by our very good friend Johnny Melnick at the other side of the studio. Josh, you want to open it up? Have Johnny take us out to commercial break. Nothing like some music
Frank
to spread
Rillafilo's
the
watching.
love. Say hey to Frank and Charlotte and everyone else who's watching. He just did what Baxton did.
He did a Baxton.
Still Valentine's Day. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always stay around. You are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay in my heart. I feel like this is the beginning. Though I loved you for a million years, though I thought our love was ending, I'd find myself drowned in my own tears. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always stay around. You are the apple of my eye. Forever you stay in my heart.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422. For no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 855-993-2180. That's 855-993-2180. Again, 855-993-2180.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. Needed the shelter of someone's arms. Now there you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. Just what we were talking about. There you were. Now with sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion, I want to stop. Thank you, baby. I just want to stop. Here to thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. A very happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you. You're better to me than I was to myself. For me, there's you, there ain't nobody else. I want to stop. Thank you, baby. I just want to stop. Yes, I thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yeah, yeah, sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yeah, baby. Happy Valentine's Day. Something else.
A talent that the music, the way you play it, if you look around, I look around at people's faces, and it takes you somewhere. You know, that song takes me somewhere. When I was growing up, and I remember specifically things that I did with this song. And I look around, and people are laughing, and they're doing that thing with their head, you know, that you do.
Bob.
They bob and weave, and not like Muhammad Ali. But
Bad
the
bob.
funny thing is it brings you back, you know? It's that throwback. It's the difference between today's music and what we listen to. And a lot, but a
We
lot
should
of
do
people don't
that.
understand the psychology and the reason why. But
That's because this is us as our age. If we had a room full of Josh and Katie and their age, they would want their. Although Josh listens to old school music.
He does. He
played
puts it
Ella
on.
Fitzgerald last night, and he
he
listens
does.
to
But he's an
different
oddball. Josh is like a.
He's like a Renaissance.
He's
kind
like
of guy.
he's like this. You know,
Josh
you
is
don't
old
see him coming. You know what I'm saying? You don't see him coming.
He's old school.
But hopefully we're going to be, now that everybody in the world is listening, hopefully we're going to be doing something. We have a big meeting tomorrow. And hopefully we're going to have Johnny and JC, and we're going to open up a secret place. And I ain't going to tell you where it is yet, but I'm going to tell you when this comes out, it's going to blow things away. It's going to change the game of what we do.
So before we wrap up and have another song for Johnny, how do we get all these books? How do we get Her Teenage Love Coach?
I appreciate that. These books are published on Amazon. So if you just type in Bruce Starr, S-T-A-R-R, you will see both books, both Her Teen Love Coach, actually changed the title just a little bit. It's Her Teen Love Coach now, and Body Traders, Transforming Back from Player to Lover. It's an honor to be a published author. It's been a lifelong dream, and I'm very excited about the possibilities of having a book that, you know, we've talked so much about the breakup of the family unit, and I went and talked to you a few minutes ago and said, you know, 50 years ago you wouldn't have needed a book like this, but now teens are growing up without parental guidance, and a book like this, that's why I wrote it, and I think it's very, very important. And if they don't do well as a teen, then they're going to have to read my book, Body Traders. And as Lynn said, both of those books are important and necessary, and I'm glad to have been able to write both of those books.
Thank you for joining us. Lynn,
Thank
who's
you.
your guest on Thursday for the Editor's Desk?
This Thursday, we're doing something a little different.
You have a mic?
Our guest is Zany Degaya.
Mike?
We're doing something a little different. Part of our commitment in 2023 is not only interviewing authors, but also providing information and services for authors and people who want to be authors. And so our guest Thursday is Zany Degaya, and she's an editor and a life coach, and she has a very fascinating program that she takes people through a process not only of helping them write their books, but preparing them to write the book. And so we're going to be talking about that.
Very nice. And Karen, I believe Friday you have an interview with Charles and Nick of All-in-One Benefits Group.
Yes, I'm ready for that. Getting Spanish community more into what's going on with the English too.
So that'll be fantastic.
Also want to thank Laura Sanders. When is Laura's show?
Laura's show is Thursday at 7 o'clock. She had Josh Weissman of Title Brothers. That'll be on Thursday night.
She's a marketing guru. She handed these out.
She's the
to
best at marketing, right?
Everybody. Linda took hers home. She says she was so nice. She gave me one. She gave everybody one. Of course she's nice. So I want to say thank you to Laura on the air. Also want to thank our friend, Mr. Joey.
From Coffee News.
Coffee News. We had a couple of people that he recommended, All-in-One. Recommended. They started the show yesterday. They had a lot of fun doing this, so check it out. They play on the radio at night, but they are taping on Mondays at 10:30.
10:30 Monday mornings.
It's an early one because they have
and then it airs
that
again at
fullback.
8:30 on Monday nights.
And all these shows, you can come in, watch the tape, ask questions. And that show is important because the window is open for Medicare. Did I get that right?
Correct.
And even if you have it, you can have them look at what you have, make sure you're getting the best of the best. They're running ads on radio and everything else. We got until the end of April. So come on in, meet them, say hello. They're giving away tickets also to the Movies of Del Rey. And like always, if you call us, you'll win 2 tickets to the Movies of Del Rey as well.
All right, before we wrap it up, our condolences again to all the families and friends and loved ones who lost their lives, not only yesterday at the Michigan State shooting, but it is 5 years since what happened in Parkland. So our love to all of you. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Let's take it out, Johnny Melnick, with one more song. Have a great day, everyone. Perfect.
Perfect.
It's love, sweet love. That's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. Sing it. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. 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 Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.